President-elect Trump, my friend, congratulations on being elected President of the United States of America. You are a great friend of Israel. Over the years, you've expressed your support consistently, and I deeply appreciate it. I look forward to working with you to advance security, prosperity, and peace. Israel is grateful for the broad support it enjoys among the American people, and I'm confident that the two of us, working closely together, will bring the great alliance between our two countries to even greater heights. May God bless America. May God bless Israel. May God bless our enduring alliance.
Okay, so kind of a big surprise. Well, how much of a surprise can it be when you've got a choice between Coke and Pepsi? But I think a lot of us thought that Hillary Clinton was going to be coronated last night, and it didn't happen. That was, I guess you could say, a pleasant surprise. Certainly from my perspective, Donald Trump is definitely a better person to be leading the United States than Hillary Clinton. I think Hillary Clinton would have been a disaster as president and would have been despised. Probably would have ended up being the most despised president in the history of the United States, and that has absolutely nothing to do with her being a woman. But we have to keep in mind that Donald Trump is there for a reason. Nobody gets within sniffing distance of the presidency who isn't on board with the New World Order, and you just have to remind yourself that. So I understand that a lot of people will be celebrating today, and it's okay. You can take a day or two to feel good that the Democrats were defeated. It's a better outcome for sure. But what will we see from Donald Trump? So I wanted to show you that Donald Trump's support for Israel has been absolutely unwavering. I mean, he has been one of the biggest supporters of Israel for a long time. So if we think of the New World Order and we think of how much the Zionists are involved in this sort of global domination plot, that's concern. So I'll give you another example here.
All right, here's the question. It's about Israel. It's from Kerry from the simulcast room. Support of Israel, essential for continuing stability in the Middle East, obviously, and for maintaining a firm stance against terrorism. Will you emphatically stand with Israel?
Yes.
Is the question.
Very simple answer. Yes. They've been our most reliable ally, especially in the Middle East. And you look at what's happened with Israel. They were so against this horrible Iran deal. They were so against it. And I tell you what, Obama was the worst thing that's ever happened to Israel. You can look at it as he's not a good president and he's not doing a good job. And you look at Bibi Netanyahu, you look at what he has gone through. I mean, you could just see the level of exasperation on that man's face, how they just, the most basic things, they weren't winning anything. Why did we make a deal like this with these people? And they look at us like they have no respect for us whatsoever. They can't believe themselves that they were able to get this deal. I don't get it. I mean, I don't get it. There are a lot of theories out there, but I don't get it. This will be studied and studied for a long time. And this will prove to be a very bad deal. This will lead to nuclear proliferation 100%. Sure. And all the money we gave, everything we gave, even the keeping of the hostages, and, ultimately they released the hostages for $150 billion they released. So it really looks like ransom. The other way, it wouldn't have been ransom, the way I said it, and it would have been back 4 years earlier.
All right, another example here.
Being legal. Number two, I'm opposed to our wasting our military in the Middle East on behalf of Zionist Israel. Thank you.
All right, well, let me just tell you that Israel is a very, very important ally of the United States, and we are going to protect them 100%. 100%. They've been our most reliable. It's our true friend over there, and we're going to protect Israel 100%. As to number one, we're with you. Okay, one more. We got to ask one more, because that was a tough question on Israel. That was nasty. Whoa. Are we all for Israel, right? Man. Okay, go ahead.
All right.
I love Israel and honor and respect the Jewish faith and tradition. And it's important that we have a president who feels the same way. For me, respect and reverence for Judaism is personal. My daughter Ivanka and my son-in-law Jared are raising their children in the Jewish faith, always reminding me the important values and lessons we learn about leadership, resolve, and families in Jewish tradition. My administration will stand side by side with the Jewish people and Israel's leaders to continue strengthening the bridges that connect not only Jewish Americans and Israelis, but also all Americans and Israelis. Together, we will stand up to the enemies like Iran, bent on destroying Israel and her people. Together, we will make America and Israel safe again.
By Israel.
Okay, so, again, nothing against Jewish people at all whatsoever. We're all just people. But Zionist Israel, Greater Israel, Zionist involvement in the New World Order is of grave concern to myself, and I think everyone who knows about this. I give another example here.
In 2001, weeks after the attacks on New York City and on Washington, and frankly, the attacks on all of us, attacks that they were perpetrated by the Islamic fundamentalists.
So, people have put up all these videos, Alex Jones, AMTV and co, saying that Donald Trump is going to be for 9/11 truth and he's going to reopen 9/11 truth. Are you seriously, have you got your head that far up your ass to think that this guy is actually going to reveal Israel's involvement in 9/11? Right? You gotta be kidding. So here he is pinning the blame on the radical Islamists.
Rudy Giuliani visited Israel to show solidarity with terror victims. I sent my plane because I backed the mission for Israel 100%.
But perhaps this is understandable. After all, we all remember how Yasser Arafat gloated about 9/11 and said it was good for Palestinians, right? Oh wait, that wasn't Yasser Arafat. It was Benjamin Netanyahu.
The Israeli newspaper Ma'ariv has reported Israel's former Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has publicly said the September 11th attacks have been good for Israel. Netanyahu said, quote, "We're benefiting from one thing, and that is the attack on the Twin Towers and Pentagon and the American struggle in Iraq."
My name is Donald Trump, and I'm a big fan of Israel. And frankly, a strong prime minister is a strong Israel. And you truly have a great prime minister. In Benjamin Netanyahu, there's nobody like him. He's a winner. He's highly respected. He's highly thought of by all. And people really do have great, great respect for what's happened in Israel. So vote for Benjamin. Terrific guy, terrific leader, great for Israel.
So, there you go. This is a great video, by the way, by James Corbett here called The Dancing Israelis. 9/11 Suspect, The Dancing Israelis. Of course, if you don't know the story about the Dancing Israelis, it's that there was a group of 5 Israelis who were seen on top of a building dancing around and celebrating. They just happened to be in position, and they were videotaping as the first plane hit the World Trade Center, so they had prior knowledge. And then it turns out that a lot of them were connected to Mossad. So they were there to document the collapse of the Twin Towers, which is extremely powerful evidence to suggest that Israel was definitely involved in 9/11. And since 9/11 gave birth pretty much to the New World Order, at least in the incarnation that we know today, the security state, the surveillance state, the NSA, the TSA, everything else you can think of, the foreign policy, the wars that were unleashed as a result of 9/11, Afghanistan, Iraq, Libya, and so many others, and the millions of people who have died as a direct result of 9/11 in the last decade and a half. I mean, you have to seriously question this. So, as you see here, Trump has every intention of recognizing Jerusalem as Israel's capital. So this is from today, right, on The Guardian. Again, Donald Trump told the Jerusalem Post that Trump would follow through on his promise. It was a campaign promise, and there is every intent to keep it. All right, we are going to see a very different relationship between America and Israel in a positive way. So Donald Trump, during his campaign, would criticize how Obama was the worst thing for the state of Israel. Now he's going to say that he's the best thing for the state of Israel. So you really have to, be concerned about this. And the U.S. election has been closely watched by Israel, not least Trump's promise to tear up the Iran nuclear deal drawn up by Barack Obama and fiercely opposed by Israeli Prime Minister. Indeed, during his campaign, Trump slammed the Iran deal, describing it as the stupidest deal of all time, and that he would tear it up, right? He also promised to be Israel's closest friend and indicated that he would take a different approach to Israel's settlement building in occupied territories, long condemned by successive U.S. governments. And it's true that Obama and the White House, at least on the surface, had several criticisms about Israel, and you could see that there was the relationship between Bibi and Obama was pretty cold at times. And so if you thought that Obama was bad as a sort of president for the United States, you might be in for a rude wake-up call here. So, it's something that we all have to, be concerned about. So Israel is absolutely very, very happy with this result. And you saw that with the opening sort of Bibi here, given his praise. Donald Trump victory, and this is off The Independent, means the era of Palestinian state is over, Israeli Prime Minister says. It's pretty fucked up, eh? So Israeli government minister has provoked outrage, suggesting the result of the U.S. election will lead to the end of international political will for the Palestinian state. Trump's victory is an opportunity for Israel to immediately retract the notion of Palestine or the Palestinian state in the center of the country, which would hurt our security and just cause, says Naftali Bennett, the Minister of Education. You see, they don't even want to ever frickin' recognize the state of Palestine. They want a greater Israel. They want to make Israel as big as possible. And this is a long known. It's not even really a well-kept secret or anything. This is the position of the president-elect as written in his platform, and it should be our policy, plain and simple. The era of the Palestinian state is over. So, even though the Israeli government has been officially working towards a two-state solution to the intractable Israeli-Arab conflict for years, although resistance from militant Hamas movement that rules the Gaza Strip and continued disagreement over Israeli settlements building in the West Bank has been hindered by recent attempts at peace talks. Mr. Bennett expressed his congratulations to Donald Trump and a gratitude to the Democratic nominee Hillary Clinton for her friendship with Israel. And both candidates had broadly said that if elected, they would continue in the line of current U.S. policy on Israeli-Palestinian conflict, which by and large advocates for a two-state solution, although an advisor to Trump said in October that the candidate is skeptical of the efficacy of a two-state solution. So I think it's pretty clear that Donald Trump has no intentions of ever recognizing Palestine as a state, and is 100% supportive of Israel, Benjamin Netanyahu in particular. So another thing too, there's several other things I could touch on. I could touch on the LGBTQNSWXYZ and how Donald Trump came out and, at first, I think way back, he was kind of against it, but then he got in line real quickly.
I had a feeling the question was going to come up, I will tell you. Well, look, North Carolina did something that was very strong, and they're paying a big price, and there's a lot of problems. And I heard one of the best answers I heard was from a commentator yesterday saying, Leave it the way it is right now. There have been very few problems. Leave it the way it is. North Carolina, what they're going through with all of the business that's leaving and all of the strife, and that's on both sides. You leave it the way it is. There have been very few complaints the way it is. People go, they use the bathroom that they feel is appropriate. There has been so little trouble. And the problem with what happened in North Carolina is the strife and the economic punishment that they're taking. So I would say that's probably
transgender people working in your organization?
I don't know. No? I really don't know. I probably do. I really don't know.
So if Caitlyn Jenner were to walk into Trump Tower and want to use the bathroom, you would be fine with her using any bathroom she chooses?
That is correct.
Okay.
Okay, so that was his first coming out, and then he even got more vocal as time went on.
As your president, I will do everything in my power to protect our LGBTQ citizens from the violence and oppression of a hateful foreign ideology. Believe me.
And what else we got here? Trump addresses LGBT community here at a rally in Texas.
On who would be a better friend to the LGBT community? Yeah, of course, a few weeks ago, Donald Trump sort of raised some eyebrows in the Republican Party by coming out in favor of access to either bathroom for transgendered individuals, but now trying to appeal to the LGBT community on the issue of security, saying that Hillary Clinton's plans to increase the number of refugees that the United States would allow in from Syria by 550% could pose a real threat to the LGBT community. Here he is again.
The LGBT community, these are people that had a place, and this was a place of safety. This is a place where people felt safe. And if you think about it, what the violation that took place, and that was allowed to take place, the violation that took place, and it's due to weakness. It's weakness on behalf of our leadership. It's weakness. People don't respect our country anymore. People don't respect our leadership anymore. People don't respect us anymore. But let me tell you, they're going to respect you folks because things are going to change.
There you go. And to just reinforce that, here's Trump unfurling a rainbow flag. So there you go. I think it's pretty clear that Trump is a New World Order president. And although there may be some, he'll be better on immigration, he'll be better dealing with the porous border with Mexico and stuff like that, and some of domestic policy, he's clearly 100% on board with this New World Order. And to think somebody who is so powerful and so rich and who has been, in the media spotlight for decades, primetime TV, rubbing elbows with all the elites. If you don't think that he is not in bed with the New World Order, you're just dreaming in Technicolor. In fact, you're dreaming in rainbows.